happy Saturday, or greetings whenever you're joining us. My name is Caitlin. This is Comeback Yoga's Level 2 Saturday morning class, and today we're focusing on the present moment. What's great about the present moment is that it improves our pain management, it improves our sleep, reduces depression and anxiety once we let go of the stories we tell ourselves about the future, what may or may not come to pass, and the past, what we know to have happened. When we can bring ourselves to right now, we have so many benefits. And as I always say, the body and the breath are loyal friends when we're looking for the present moment, because your body and your breath are only ever going to be there. So when I bring my focus there, I know I'm living in the right now. So we'll think about that throughout our practice. Our practice will probably be about 45 minutes today, and just remember all of those minutes are yours. So if ever I'm leading us in something that you don't feel like doing today, or you know you'll regret later, don't do that thing. Know that we will move on, and just remember that pain isn't really a part of this practice. So listen to your body and be kind to yourself. Find your edge, a space where you can be challenged, because this is a level 2. And that's what we showed up here for ourselves today. And remember that yoga also, along with this sense of challenge, should bring in a sense of ease, a sense of comfort, this connection to our body. So, when you're ready, find a comfortable seat. And maybe your seat looks like me with your legs crossed in front of you. And if you're still getting ready and you want to grab a glass of water or have something nearby, like a chair or my trusty wall here to just help us balance, go ahead and settle in to a comfortable seat. You might be resting on your shins and your knees. You might be resting on a pillow, whatever feels good. And just remember that you've set aside this time for yourself. And potentially you can let go of everything else outside of this time and just arrive here. And start to notice your body, the spaces where it rests on the mat or a pillow or a block. Bring awareness to those lower parts of the body and allow them to be heavy, to settle. And as you do, you might think about, without looking down, just aligning your head and your chest and your hips. And then finding your foundation where you rest, really rooting down or settling in, setting that foundation strong to lift the crown of the head just a little bit higher, creating a little bit of space in the vertebrae. Beautiful. Now we'll bring our awareness to our breath without judgment. That's going to be a challenge for this practice today. Leveling up to level 2, letting go of any judgment that might come with noticing. But simply noticing our breath. And you can always stay here, breathing however feels good for you. If you'd like, you can join me in a few rounds of our Robin's breath. Robin's breath, I'm going to bring my palms together in front of my chest as I inhale. When I'm ready to exhale, I'm going to press the palms out. Maybe the chin tucks, maybe it doesn't. So it's almost like a diver. When I'm ready to inhale, my hands open wide like robin's wings, and maybe the gaze lifts. So think about getting really big here, creating space in the shoulder blades. When you're ready to exhale, the hands close, the chin might tuck again. And your next inhale, hands come back to center. Beautiful. So moving here with your pace, it might help to close your eyes or soften your gaze so you can move and breathe when you're ready to inhale and exhale. And don't worry about what I'm doing on the screen. When I move on, I will let you know. So we're inhaling to open the wings wide, really getting as big as we can in the upper body. And exhaling to kind of come to that diver's pose. Perhaps noticing how the top of the spine feels. The jaw, the column of the neck, the shoulders, and make these movements as big or as small as feels good for you, friends. No reason to overextend. Every body is different. Let's take one more full round of Robin's breath on your own. And then we'll meet in a comfortable seat. Thank you. From here, if you'd like to move on, I'm going to show you my finger slides. And I do this all the time, especially when I'm waiting for things, like when I'm waiting in between sets at the gym or waiting in line, waiting wherever you find yourself waiting. Often when I'm in that space of waiting, I can start to tell stories in my mind, right? Kind of move away from the present moment because it's so boring or not fun, whatever, and think about the past and the future. But these finger slides are really helpful. So I like to think of my thumbprint as an observer. So again, without any judgment, all of my awareness, all my curiosity is going to be in that thumb, the top part of my thumb where my thumbprint is. And you can do this with two hands or just one. What I do is I slide my thumbprint along my closest finger. So it's going to come up the finger, all three quadrants, and then it's going to come perhaps to the tip of the finger if it feels comfortable for you. Sorry, moving into my fingers a lot. If it feels comfortable for you, you might slide the thumb now on the back of the first finger and then back up to the fingernail, or you might just stay on the bottom part of the first finger and slide it back down towards the palm, go to the next finger, slide it up. And as I'm moving slowly, maybe your gaze is on your hands, but most often mine isn't. And I'm really just noticing everything that I can possibly notice to the next finger and then the next. And then I'm going to come all the way back to the first finger, noticing how it feels to slide from skin to skin, everything my thumbprint can notice about the ridges on my fingers. Perhaps I'm noticing sensations in the muscles of my hands. Again, only going as far as feels comfortable. There's no reason to force anything, but really bringing your awareness to your body in this space. And I love finger slides because it looks kind of weird when I'm holding them by my face like this. But when we're waiting, I can do this at the gym, in line, anywhere I have a free hand. So bring your awareness to your thumb, starting wherever you like. Maybe you slide on the backs of the fingers, maybe you skip it, noticing the fingernails, just noticing everything you can possibly notice. Temperature, sensations in the fingers. I'll shut up. We can do this for a few more moments. Bring your awareness to your body. Bringing your mind right now to the present moment. Having a little bit of curiosity as we sit here and share this present moment. And if you did something on one side and it feels good to even it out, go ahead and do that. And we'll wrap up our finger slides. Awesome, friends. From here, I'm going to rest my left palm down on the mat and lift the right palm high. So the right shoulder is drawing away from the ears as the fingers are drawing away from the shoulders. And it doesn't have to be straight up. It can be as high as feels good for you to lift your hand, but we really want to think about reaching the fingers away from the shoulders, reaching the shoulders away from the ears. So this like really great level of intent in the arm here. Wherever you are, start to think about breathing into the right side body. So we're still finding this long spine, maybe noticing the sensations of breath as it comes in and out of the right side. If you like, you might find a side bend over to the left side. that feels good. Again, still drawing the shoulder away from the ear, and the lifted arm, the bicep of my right arm, is coming towards my ear and not my nose. Just some thoughts there. So you can be here or anywhere in between, breathing into the right side. For 2 more breaths. Beautiful. Then we'll switch it out. Plant the right palm down. Lift the left as high as feels good for you. And notice the left side body now, as much as you can. Drawing the left shoulder away from the ear. Drawing the left fingers away from the shoulder. Bringing a lot of intention and strength into the arm. It's lifted. Maybe you find a side bend. Drawing the bicep toward the ear, or even maybe it's closer to the elbow towards the ear because we're drawing our shoulder down. And anywhere in between. Beautiful. From here, when you're ready, we'll release the lifted hand and we'll find some shoulder rolls. Go in any direction that feels good for you. Sometimes it might feel great to move the shoulders together. Sometimes I find a little bit more of movement and relaxation on the back of my shoulder blades if I move one shoulder and then the other. Totally up to you. Move them together, move them one at a time. And wherever you are, switch directions. See if you started back. Bring them forward. Make these, again, as big or as small. This feels good for you. And notice what you notice without judgment about the shoulders, the base of the column of the neck, the jaw, even the back line, the hips. You can feel all these things and more. Just notice what you notice. When you're even ready to move on, let's bring our bodies into tabletop. So I'm going to bring my hands underneath my shoulders, my knees underneath my hips, and I'm going to find some cat-cows. And for cow, I drop the belly, I point my tailbone and my nose for the ceiling. And I'm just going to allow the belly to be really heavy here as maybe I inhale, fill up. When I'm ready to exhale, I'm going to tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, and really round the spine like I'm reaching for the ceiling with my spine. Allowing the shoulder blades to slide off to the sides and moving here when you're ready to inhale into cow. When you're ready to exhale into cat. Bringing your awareness to how it feels to be in this tabletop position. Thinking about really pressing the mat away with the hands. And of course, you can bring your shoulders into these movements as well, kind of finding a bit of a roll as you come through one shape and then the other. Or you can leave your shoulders static. Yogi's choice, friends. You can always stay here. If you're ready to move on, we're going to find some stillness to more of a flat tabletop before we move into our balancing table. So for our balancing table, I'm going to bring my weight into my left knee, and I'm going to extend my right leg long. Right heel is pointing out, really pressing through the heel. I'm going to press the mat away still as much as possible with both hands, or maybe you bring your weight just into your right hand as you lift your left hand long. Perhaps the foot comes to meet it, lifting and hovering only as high as the hips. Or maybe you stay with your right foot kickstanding on the mat, pressing through the heel. Noticing sensations coming in and out of the shape as you need. Finding your stability, settling in for 2 breaths. You got this. So strong. When you're ready, we'll come back to center. I'm going to switch it out. Actually, before I switch it out, I'm going to roll out my wrists. And remember, you can always do this Always take time to roll out the wrists. If you feel any tightness, you can always adjust your resting hands as well. Maybe you find a fist or tented fingers. I've seen in some people, they love them. That's great. Find what feels good for you. And then we're gonna bring the weight to the right knee, extending the left leg long, pressing out through the left heel. Maybe you keep your weight on both hands evenly as much as possible, or maybe you extend your right hand long, thumb pointing towards the ceiling. Perhaps your left leg lifts as well. So really knitting the ribs together here, wherever you are, pressing the mat away with the hand or hands and the resting leg. Drawing the shoulders away from the ears, reaching through the crown of the head. 2 more breaths, you got this. Beautiful, come back through center. And then we're going to find our puppy pose. So for puppy pose, I'm going to walk my hands forward and draw my chest towards the mat. And maybe you come down on your elbows first, and maybe that feels great. Or maybe you extend your hands and fingers further, all the way so that your chest or the forehead are resting on the mat. So it's kind of like child's pose in the front, but my hips are still over my knees, like tabletop, the lower body. And if this is too much of an intense stretch in the shoulders or the back, you can always drop the hips and find your child's pose. Breathing here and noticing the stretch on the upper body. This can feel a little strange if you've never found puppy pose before, so that's okay. Just be curious, be kind to yourself. For 5 more breaths, see about finding some kind of foundation, some kind of grounding in the hands, the arms, the forearms, even the forehead or chest, whatever's resting on the mat. From that strong foundation, you might notice stretching. Do you notice support or a deeper level of ease if you breathe in and out of that stretching sensation? You can always stay here. You're in puppy pose. If you're ready to move on, we'll walk the hands underneath the shoulder blades. And I'm going to tuck the toes, come into my downward facing dog. So my hips are going to lift high. My chest is going to draw towards the tops of the thighs. You want to keep a little bit of a bend in the knees, and maybe for this first down dog, we drop one heel and then the other, really deeply bending the opposite knee. Or you might shake your hips from one side to the other slowly, shimmy your shoulders, whatever feels good. And once you've found the settling in sensation, we'll take 3 breaths in our downward facing dog, allowing the head to be heavy. Noticing without judgment everything that the body feels, bringing the awareness to the breath. Beautiful. From here, I'm going to step my right foot forward. My left knee is going to come down. For our low lunge, I'm going to lift my hands for a crescent moon or lower crescent here. And this is a balancing pose. So find your strong foundation. And then build the upper body, really shining the chest, opening the clavicles wide. Shoulders are drawing away from the ears. Fingers might be lifted high, or the palms might be finding one another in front of the chest. 3 more breaths, settling into your crescent moon. And then we'll find our half splits. So I'm going to drop the hands down. I'm going to straighten my front leg. So it's going to send my hips back a little bit. You don't want to think about melting the hips down to the floor so much. as finding a deep stretch in the back of the extended leg. And I mean, it might be really deep. So just be kind to yourself. Notice what you feel in the back of the leg, the right leg here. I'm going to point my right toes, give it a try. And then you might bring the chest towards the toes. And if that's too intense, you can always drop the toes back down. You can keep your hands at your waist like I am, or you can bring the hands down towards the mat. Or if you have blocks or a stack of books nearby, you can rest your hands there. Wherever they are, you really want to think about reaching the chest towards the extended toes, but keeping a flat back as much as possible. Beautiful. And then we'll come back through our low lunge. I'm going to frame my front foot with both hands. I'm going to tuck my back toe and then take as much as you need to step back into downward facing dog. For 4 more breaths here. Bringing the weight into the right toes now. I'm going to step my left foot forward. My right knee's going to come down. Low lunge. Might bring my intention into that long spine up through the crown of the head right now, even before I lift up. So my ribs are knitting together. My thighs are drawing towards one another to even out my hips. 3 more breaths here. Hands can be lifted. We're finding the palms in the front of the chest. When you're ready, we'll sweep the hands down and find our half split. So you might step the left foot forward a little bit. Keep a micro bend or just a tiny bend in the left leg so you don't hyperextend it. You might point the left toes and then think about with the flat back, just bowing forward a little bit. Finding a stretch in the backs of the legs, whatever that looks like for you, and continually balancing for 3 more breaths. And we'll frame the front foot, bend the front knee, and then step back into our downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Noticing what might feel different about this down dog than your first one, making it your own. And then when you're ready, we will meet in a standing pose at the top of your mat. So just come to stand, get there however you like. Maybe you come through tabletop. Maybe you walk the feet towards the hands and then roll up. Beautiful. Mountain pose here. I'm going to think about rooting down, really finding the mat with as much of my foot as I possibly can. Just like we did with our thumbprint, bringing our awareness to our footprint now, noticing everything we can about where our feet rest, and then cupping the mat or holding on or really pressing the mat away with our feet as much as possible. From there, I'm going to draw the ribs together. Navel comes towards the spine to engage the core, and then maybe the hands lift high, or maybe they reach intentionally really low. So as low as they'll go. Wherever your hands are, your fingers are reaching away from your shoulders are drawing away from your ears, the crown of the head is reaching for the sky. Mountain pose. 3 more breaths. Beautiful. From here, I'm going to inhale and lift my right hand high, or as high as feels good. I'm going to find it with my left hand. It's high enough, and then find a side bend. over to the right side, really breathing into the left side body. And if it doesn't feel great to find the hands up over the head, that's okay. We can leave the hands where they were resting in mountain and think about equally distributing the weight of our feet as we reach over to one side. And then we'll switch it out. Lift my left hand high or just reach over to the left side. If my left hand's lifted, I'm going to find my left wrist with my right hand. I don't have to close the fingers together, just let them meet. Breathing in to the right side body. Still pressing the mat away with the feet as much as possible. Still lifting through the crown of the head and still knitting the ribs together to support as we find this gentle side bend. Beautiful. From here, I'm going to drop both hands and really knit my ribs together if they're not already. And then I'm going to engage my thighs so that my kneecaps lift. So maybe you energetically draw your heels away from one another to really find strength in the front body. So we have our legs are wrapping those muscles around the frame of the legs and the core is engaged. And I'm going to lift my hands again as high as feels good for you. Maybe you goalpost them out, or maybe you keep them lifted high. And I'm going to find a baby back bend, small back bend. So I'm going to lift my chest up towards the sky, create as much space in my lower spine as possible. Maybe you notice that and drop it down and then lift it up again. Drop it down and then lift up the chest as much as possible. Maybe from here the gaze follows, and the strength and engagement of the front body is going to help support the lower body as we find this tiny little back bend. For 2 more breaths. So dropping the shoulders away from the ears. So strong, really nice. From here, I'm going to drop the hands down. And I'm going to step my left foot back for crescent lunge. So now there's a bend in my right knee. My left heel is popped up, and again, I'm energetically drawing my thighs towards one another to square my hips towards the front of the mat. Maybe the hands lift high, or maybe palms find one another in front of the chest. Shoulders draw down. Notice what you feel for 4 more breaths. So strong, keeping the foundation where it is, legs don't move. I'm going to sweep my left hand forward, bend in my left elbow. My right elbow is going to come inside my left elbow. Then I'm going to either bring the backs of my hands together, so the backs of the palms facing one another, or you might find the palms towards one another for eagle arms. My elbows are parallel to my shoulders, and I'm drawing my shoulders back. So crescent lunge with eagle arms. You can have them here, or hey, you can just bring your opposite shoulders with your opposite hands. Up to you. 2 more breaths here. Drawing the shoulders away from the ears and back, bringing your elbows a little bit closer into the chest. Then I'm going to unwind the hands and reach my left hand forward, right hand back for a rotated crescent lunge. So the foundation really hasn't moved, but this is a balancing foundation. So if you need to adjust, settle in, find a stronger foundation, do that. And then find your twist. And again, we're twisting over to the right. Maybe you find a deeper twist if you goalpost the arms, or maybe you don't want a deep twist and you just look over to the right shoulder. 2 more breaths. So strong. From here, I'm going to untwist. So my chest is pointing towards the front of the mat. I'm going to find Warrior 3. For Warrior 3, I'm going to bring all of my weight as much as possible into the right foot or the front foot. I'm going to step forward and straighten that front leg. The left leg is still extended behind. Maybe it's kickstanding on the mat, or maybe it's hovering above the mat. Hands can come to heart center, palms together in front of the chest, or maybe the hands are reaching, biceps towards the ears. I'm going to think about a long line of energy from the crown of the head to the left heel. Warrior 3. Come in and out of it as you need. 3 breaths here. So strong. Pressing the mat away as much as possible with the right foot, pointing the left toes, down towards the mat. Beautiful. We're going to drop the hands, land the back heel down softly for Warrior 2. So there's a bend again in my right knee. I'm going to tee out my hands, looking over my right fingertips. My chest is pointing out towards the left side of the mat now. My right knee is drawing out to the right side, so it's not coming in towards center. Settling into your Warrior 2 for 2 more breaths. We're going to drop the left hand down, foundation, legs stay the same. I'm going to flip my right palm high and then lift it up for reverse warrior. Maybe you find this strong sensation rooting down and then rising up really tall. Maybe you find a side bend from there, bringing the hand towards the back of the mat now. For 3 more breaths, still knitting the ribs together, noticing what it feels, how it feels to be here in your shape. I'm going to drop both hands down, bring my heels in, toes out, still pressing the mat away as much as possible with the hands, with the feet. I'm going to align my head and my chest and my hips, and then I'm going to extend my arms really wide this time. Doesn't matter if they're high, they can be low, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get them really wide, reach the fingers away from one another as much as possible, opening everything out, taking up as much space as you can. So lifting through the crown of the head for 3 more breaths. On the inhale, finding the pose, getting as big as you can. On the exhale, settling in. Finding some ease. Beautiful, friends. From here, I'm going to drop the hands down and I'm going to switch directions. So now the back of my mat is going to be the front of my mat and my left foot is forward. I'm going to bring all 10 toes pointing towards the back of the mat now, which is now the front. Okay, so we're going to find that crescent lunge again. The right heel is popped up now. Think about stacking the head over the chest, over the hips. Maybe the hands lift high, crescent lunge. You might have your hands in front of your chest. Wherever they are, shoulders draw away from the ears, towards one another, towards the spine. Beautiful. Keeping the strong foundation, I'm going to sweep my right arm now in front of my chest. My left elbow is going to come inside the right elbow. I'm going to find my eagle arm. So same as we did on the other side. If you found shoulders, backs of the palms, or fronts of the palms. Elbows lift, shoulders draw in and back. Keeping this foundation, check in with your feet. Inhaling to find the pose, exhaling to find some ease. 3 more breaths. When you're ready, we'll unwind the hands and twist. So I'm going to bring my right hand forward, left hand back, opening the chest to the left side of the mat now. 4 more breaths. Making this twist as deep or as shallow as you want for your morning. I'm going to untwist, drop the hands, bring the weight into the front leg as much as possible. And then I'm going to straighten the front leg, And I need to scoot back so I don't hit the wall. Okay, straightening the front leg. Maybe the left foot stays kickstanding on the mat. Maybe it hovers. You have this long line of energy from the crown of the head all the way down to the back heel. Maybe the hands lift, biceps towards ears, or hands might be resting in front of the chest. So we're keeping that long line of energy, and if you drop your chest down closer to parallel to the mat, then your back heel is going to lift as well. Find your shape, come in and out of it as you need. 2 more breaths here. I know you're working. These legs are so strong. Beautiful. We'll drop the hands, land softly on the back heel. Warrior 2. So now my right toes are pointing out to the right side of the mat now. I'm going to tee out my hands. Without looking, think about stacking the head over the heart, over the hips. 3 more breaths. Noticing what you notice without judgment, friends, as much as possible. No need to judge. This is your time. Beautiful. I'm going to drop the right hand down, left palm flips high. Maybe it reaches really long. Maybe it finds a side bend towards the back of the mat. Reverse warrior. 3 more breaths. When you're ready, we're going to unwind. Bring the heels in, toes out, star pose. Get really, really big. Just for 2 breaths here. Drawing the shoulder blades towards one another. Closing out the standing practice. So nice. And then we'll let it go. We'll come to a comfortable seat on the mat with the legs in front of us. Knees are bent. The soles of the feet are on the mat. From here, I'm going to sweep my hands behind my hips, and I'm going to knit my ribs together. Think about having this integrity in the back line, just like we always do. We knit our ribs together. We have this really long, strong upper body. I'm going to keep that flat back as I come a little bit backwards. Maybe there's little to no weight on my hands, and then I might lift my feet, hovering the heels, or even just kickstanding the toes, drawing the shoulders down the back towards one another. Maybe the hands stay resting back to support us in this boat pose. Maybe the hands can reach forward, still keeping shoulders wide, back is flat. Maybe the legs straighten. Boat pose, friends. 2 more breaths. I know you're working so strong. Strengthening the core. And then when you're ready, if you're ready, you can always stay here. I'm going to come out of it slowly and with intention. And I'm going to find a forward fold. So I'm going to extend my legs long. Toes are pointing towards the ceiling, really pressing through the heels, bringing a lot of intention into the feet. Bring that intention into the back line as well. And then I'm going to walk my hands on the mat, or they can be on my legs, whatever. Just walk them forward, keeping flat back for as long as you can go, for as far as you can go. Once you've felt you've really brought your chest as far forward as it'll go, we can bow the head or tuck the head towards the chest. Maybe you find your hands a little bit closer to your feet, or your ankles, or your shins, or your knees. For 3 more breaths here, just allow the head to be really heavy. Allow the shoulders to rest. Bring in everything that we extended in those back bends. Love it. Then we'll come to lie on the mat. So the shoulders are going to find the mat. For some windshield wipers. So I'm going to bend my knees again. The soles of the feet find the mat. The upper body is resting on the mat, and then we're just going to drop the knees to one side and then lift them up through center and then drop them to the other side. Maybe you inhale as the knees come to one side and exhale as they come to the other. It's usually a little too fast for my windshield wipers, so maybe you inhale as the knees come up and exhale as they drop down. Yogi's choice, friends. And it's okay if these are really small and you really want the stability of the feet to support you here. Thinking about resting the hips, allowing them to be as heavy as possible in the mat. Or they can be really wide and deep. Totally up to you. We're just bringing a little bit of rotation in the hips. And all rotation, whatever level you found is good, friends. No judgment. Hey. Okay. Once you've windshield wipered, we're going to drop the left knee to the left side, right knee to the right side, soles of the feet find one another. Maybe this is really intense, and for some support, you can bring pillows underneath the knees. If you have wildly long arms like me, you can fist your hands together and then tuck them underneath the tops of your thighs. And if it's too intense, it's okay. Maybe you flip the script and plant the soles of the feet on opposite sides of the mat, and then let the knees knock together. Wherever you are, notice the sensations you feel. In the hips, yes, in the legs, yes, but also in the feet, the head, the shoulders, the front body and the back body, the hands. If this feels too much like waiting, maybe you can bring your awareness to your breath, or to the space where your thumbprints rest, noticing everything you can about where we are right now for 5 more breaths. It's okay if thoughts come. Notice them. And then bring your awareness back to right now. And friends, we have come to our last pose of our practice. So if you are comfy cozy where you are, great. If you want to take a different shape, maybe extend your legs long, maybe come to rest on one side or the other, maybe come to a comfortable seat. I'm going to take 10 breaths, silence together. Bring your awareness to your body, to your breath, to your present. And then I will bring us together to close our practice. If this is where you want to be for a few more moments, stay here. And if you choose to move on, we'll bring some movement into your fingers and toes, the ankles and wrists. You might reach the hands up overhead for a good morning stretch or point the toes. And when you're ready, if you're not there already, find a comfortable seat. And we'll close out our practice together. Just moving slowly with intention, there's no rush. When we close class in yoga, often we bring our hands together in front of our chest like this. And I like to rub my hands together, create a bit of warmth. Fingers are always cold. And I stack that warmth over my heart. You're important already. You always were. Thank you so much for making this time for yourself. Thank you for allowing me to guide you. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.